Shalom, my friend. God does not bless raw potential. He blesses structure. Heaven does not pour increase into confusion. It multiplies what you are willing to build. Many people were taught that blessing is random, that success comes to the one who prays the longest, hopes the hardest, or waits for the perfect moment. But what if lasting abundance follows a pattern? What if increase is not mainly about luck, timing, or emotion, but about becoming the kind of person who can carry more without breaking under it? Stay with me, because this idea can change how you look at money, purpose, and the life you are building right now. This is not just religion in old words. This is life design. It is a way of seeing reality that says flourishing is not an accident. It is built, and once you see it, you will not unsee it. Here is the big mistake most people make. They think blessing is something that drops on them from the sky. They wait for the call, the chance, the breakthrough, the one lucky turn. But blessing is not something that simply lands on you. It is something that moves through you, and it moves best through structures that can hold it. Think about water. Spill water on open ground and it runs everywhere, does little, and disappears. But guide that same water through channels, pipes, and systems, and suddenly it can feed cities, move power, and turn dry land into living fields. Your life works the same way. Increase looks for order. Overflow needs a container. God does not send abundance into what cannot carry it, because waste does not match divine wisdom. The Creator does not work in chaos. He works through design. And if you really catch that, everything starts to shift. So listen closely. This may be the moment where your thinking begins to turn. The first truth is simple. Form comes before flow. Nothing strong flows where nothing solid has been formed. In the wilderness story, the presence of God did not just appear in a random place with random people doing random things. A dwelling place had to be prepared first. Measurements mattered. Materials mattered. Sequence mattered. There was design before filling. There was order before glory. And that reveals a law most people ignore. The sacred responds to readiness. Increase moves toward preparation. You do not step into the promotion before you grow the skill to carry the pressure. You do not receive a healthy relationship before you become the kind of person who can protect, honor, and sustain one. You do not suddenly hold larger money when your current money still leaks through your hands. A lot of people ask for more while still being careless with what is already in front of them. They want harvest without systems. They want results without structure. They want provision without preparation. But even daily provision in the wilderness came with rules. It had timing. It had limits. It had a pattern. Even the miracle had a system around it. That means your current condition is not only a problem, it is feedback. It is showing you where your systems are weak, where your habits are untrained, where your inner life still needs walls, weight, and shape. That is not bad news. That is useful news. Because readiness can be built. Discipline can be learned. Structure can be created. You do not have to stay as you are. You can design a life that is ready for more. And when you do, more stops feeling far away. Watch this part carefully, because the next principle explains why some people keep growing while others keep restarting. The second truth is this: order attracts increase. God multiplies what is organized, measured, and managed with care. You can see this pattern all through sacred history and all through normal life if you pay attention. During years of plenty, one wise leader did not celebrate and waste the moment. He built a storage system. He planned distribution. He prepared for the hard season while everyone else was distracted by comfort. And because of that order, an entire nation survived and rose in power. Wealth grew where wisdom managed it. The same pattern shows up again and again. Families grow stronger when they manage what they have. Businesses expand when they track what works. Households feel peace when they know where the money goes. Yet many people treat money like a storm they just have to survive. They earn without a plan, spend by emotion, save by accident, and invest with crossed fingers. Then they wonder why life feels shaky. But money is not usually mysterious. It follows habits. It responds to rules. It expands under care and shrinks under neglect. The issue is not that money is too complex. The issue is that many people never learned how to build a financial frame. Real order looks practical. You know what comes in. You know what goes out. You give every dollar a job before it disappears. You check your numbers. You fix what is off. You do not just hope for a better month. You build one. You do not guess what you can afford. Your system tells you. You do not panic every time life throws a surprise. You already plan for pressure. And when your resources become organized, something powerful starts happening. People trust you more. Opportunities open faster. Better decisions become normal. This is not magic. It is the natural fruit of stewardship. Organized people become reliable people. And reliable people are the ones others want to partner with, hire, recommend, and reward. Keep watching, because the next part goes deeper than money. It goes to capacity. The third truth is the one many people miss. Vessels decide volume. Your income rarely rises beyond your real capacity, because capacity is not only about numbers. It is deeply spiritual. It is about who you are in private. It is about your integrity when nobody praises you, your patience when life moves slowly, your judgment when pressure rises, your humility when success begins to arrive. There is a story of a widow in deep crisis, burdened by debt and staring at loss. She was not handed a bag of money. She was asked a strange question instead. What do you already have in your house? She said she had only a small jar of oil. Then she was told to borrow empty vessels, as many as possible, and start pouring. And the oil kept flowing until every vessel was full. Then it stopped. Notice that carefully. The flow matched the available capacity. If more vessels had been ready, more oil would have filled them. If fewer vessels had been prepared, less would have come. The miracle met the structure she made room for. That is why some people earn huge amounts and still collapse, while others begin with very little and slowly build something stable, strong, and lasting. Income alone does not create wealth. Capacity does. Character does. Wisdom does. Systems do. If you want more money but do not increase your inner room, the extra money will only magnify old weaknesses. If you want sustained abundance, you need a stronger self, not only a bigger check. But here is the hope. Capacity can grow. Character can be trained. Your inner architecture can expand. You are not frozen at this level. You can become the person who can carry what you keep asking for. And when that starts happening, life changes in ways that feel almost sudden, even though the roots were growing the whole time. So let us get practical now. Because inspiration is nice, but structure is what changes things. Start by creating a real container for your money, not a vague wish, a real system. Open separate accounts or use separate spaces for clear purposes. One for fixed monthly needs, one for emergencies, one for future opportunities, one for giving. Your money needs names and addresses, not just hope. Then set simple income buckets. When money comes in, divide it on purpose. A share for giving, a share for saving, a share for housing, a share for living, a share for growth. The exact numbers may change with your season, but the principle should stay. Decide before the money arrives where it will go. That one move alone can calm so much chaos. Next, build a giving habit, not to perform, not to impress, to keep your heart open and your hands from closing around fear. Giving creates movement. Hoarding creates pressure. Then create spending rules. Pause before non-essential purchases. Add a waiting period. Set a level where larger spending must be reviewed, discussed, or delayed. Patience is often cheaper than debt, and much cleaner too. After that, schedule a weekly money review. Every 7 days, face the numbers. No drama, no shame, just truth. What came in? What went out? What worked? What needs to change? You cannot guide what you refuse to measure. Then automate what you can. Transfers, bills, savings. Good systems remove the need for constant daily willpower. Also build one day each week with healthy financial quiet. No spending if possible. No scrambling. No anxious checking every hour. Create a rhythm of rest so money stays your tool and does not become your master. And one more thing, build extra income slowly and wisely. Do not chase every shiny idea. Build 1 or 2 solid streams that fit your skills and meet real needs. Fast money tempts, steady money frees. And yes, the next part matters, because there is a deeper reason these simple steps work so well. There is an old story about a master builder chosen to create a holy dwelling in the wilderness. The striking part is that he was not chosen just because he cared deeply. He was chosen because he had skill, wisdom, discipline, and the ability to turn vision into structure. He could work with detail, he could follow design, he could build something worthy of what was meant to fill it. And then something beautiful happened. Once he accepted the assignment, Extra wisdom came to meet him, help came to the work, insight rose with responsibility. That is a powerful pattern. When you commit to building something worthy, heaven often meets your commitment with added strength, not before action. During action, not while you only dream, while you build. Many people want confidence before they begin, but often confidence grows because they begin. They want clarity before the first step, but often clarity appears after movement starts. The added wisdom did not come to reward passivity. It came to empower construction. The same thing happens in everyday life. As you build better habits, you think more clearly. As you become faithful with smaller resources, you see larger opportunities. As you learn to carry little things well, bigger things stop feeling impossible. The blessing does not only arrive as money, sometimes it arrives as sharper judgment, stronger peace, better relationships, cleaner habits, clearer timing, and growing trust from others. That is increase too. That is part of the structure forming. And when that structure matures, results begin to show in ways you can actually measure. Things open, decisions improve, waste drops, peace rises. This is where many people say, "Wait, that sounds good, but my life is too tight right now." If that is you, listen carefully, because this next part is for you more than anyone else. Maybe you are thinking, "I do not have enough money to build any of this. I am barely making it. I am tired. I am trying to survive, not design some grand system." But that thought, while understandable, can quietly trap you. Architecture is not only for people with extra money. Architecture is how people learn to handle money before it becomes extra. You do not need abundance to start being clear. You do not need wealth to start being wise. You do not need a large income to begin managing a small one with dignity and intention. A person can practice order with $20 just as surely as another person can practice order with 20,000. The amount changes, the principles do not. In fact, some of the strongest builders began in very narrow places. They did not wait for ideal conditions, they worked with what was already in their hands. They tracked little amounts. They made small promises and kept them. They practiced restraint when nobody noticed. They learned stewardship in hidden seasons. And that private training prepared them for public increase later. The widow in crisis did not have much, but she did have empty vessels. She used what she had. That mattered. Your limitation today does not have to become your identity tomorrow. It can simply be your starting point. The point is not to pretend your struggle is easy. The point is to refuse to let struggle train you into passivity. Start where you are. Use what you have. Build one wall, set one rule, open one account, track 1 week, make one better decision, then another, then another. Do not despise a small beginning. A quiet system repeated long enough becomes a strong life. And now we need to address another common misunderstanding, because some people hear all this and say, "Shouldn't I just trust God to provide?" That question sounds spiritual, but the answer needs honesty. Yes, trust matters, deeply. But trust is not the same as passivity. Divine provision often works through wise participation, not instead of it. Birds are fed, but they still build nests, search for food, and move with the season. Flowers are clothed with beauty, but they still grow through soil, water, light, and time. Creation itself teaches partnership. God provides through systems, patterns, and faithful action. Trust without preparation is not faith. It is often avoidance wearing spiritual language. Real faith says, "I will prepare with humility and trust God with the outcome." False comfort says, "I will do nothing and call that trust." One leads to growth. The other usually leads to disappointment. Planning is not the enemy of faith. It can be one expression of faith. Careful stewardship is not cold or worldly. It can be a sign of respect for what has been placed in your hands. The false split between spiritual life and practical life has confused many people. But the sacred and the practical were never meant to be enemies. The holy dwelling in the wilderness was deeply spiritual, and still every measurement mattered. Materials mattered, timing mattered, process mattered, detail mattered. Why? Because divine beauty often enters through ordered reality, not careless noise. Your money habits reveal more about your true beliefs than many of your words. How you earn, spend, save, repay, and give shows your values in motion. Your economic behavior is not outside your spiritual life. It is one of the clearest places your inner world becomes visible. That may sound intense, but it is also freeing, Because if habits reveal the heart, habits can also help retrain it. And that brings us to the deeper issue beneath all this talk about money. It is not really about cash first. It is about character. Money is not evil. It is a form of power, a kind of energy, a tool that amplifies what is already in you. If your heart is generous, money can widen generosity. If your heart is fearful, money can enlarge fear. If you are wise, money can become a servant for good. If you are reckless, money can expose that faster. So the goal is not to run from material life as if it is dirty. The goal is to become the kind of person who can handle material things without being ruled by them. The goal is not to worship wealth. The goal is to master your relationship with resources so they can serve life, service, peace, and purpose. That is why character matters so much. Character is the hidden container beneath visible success. Without it, increase can become a burden. With it, even small beginnings can grow cleanly. This is also why inner peace rises when outer systems improve. Financial stress is often tied to confusion, delay, avoidance, and hidden leaks. But once your life becomes more ordered, your mind begins to breathe again. You know where you stand. You know what needs attention. You know what can wait. Peace is not the absence of pressure. Peace is often the presence of structure inside pressure. And with that peace comes stability. Instead of wild swings, you begin to see steadier growth. Instead of constant emergencies, you start meeting problems with readiness. Instead of feeling like a victim of life, you begin acting like a builder inside life. This shift in identity is huge. Do not miss it. The moment you start seeing yourself as someone who can create order, solve problems, and carry responsibility, your future starts opening in a different way. People can feel that change. Doors respond to that change. Results follow that change. And this is where the message becomes personal. Very personal, because now it is not about theory, it is about you. You were not made for a tiny life built on fear, drift, and endless reaction. You were not designed only to survive from one problem to the next. There is a blueprint in your soul for something stronger, cleaner, and more fruitful than constant limitation. But a blueprint is not a building. A dream is not a structure. A desire is not a system. Potential by itself changes nothing until hands begin the work. You have been given intelligence to design. You have been given judgment to choose. You have been given imagination to solve real problems in the real world. You have been given relationships that can become networks of trust, service, and shared growth. You have been given time, however imperfectly, to start construction now. The question is not whether blessing exists. The question is whether you are building a life that can hold it. The question is not whether increase is possible. The question is whether your habits are making room for it. The question is not whether opportunity is out there somewhere. The question is whether your eyes, hands, schedule, and spirit are ready when it arrives. Every day becomes a kind of construction site. Every choice lays a brick or removes one. Every habit adds order or adds decay. Every honest review, every delayed impulse, every generous act, every disciplined plan, every quiet improvement is part of the architecture. And yes, sometimes the work feels slow. Sometimes it feels hidden. Sometimes nobody claps. But unseen building is still building. Keep going. This is the part where many people quit because the results are not loud yet. Do not quit there. Quiet construction often comes right before visible change. If this message is hitting you, hold on, because the closing truth may be the one you needed most today. Here is the final truth. God does not bless confusion. He blesses what you build. Heaven does not invest in disorder. It multiplies structure. That means your next season does not begin with more wishing. It begins with more building. Build the container. Build the habit. Build the rule. Build the schedule. Build the review. Build the discipline. Build the peace. Build the character that can carry what you have been praying for. Stop waiting for random rescue while ignoring the tools already in your hands. Start with the life in front of you. Start with your current money, your current room, your current habits, your current calendar, your current relationships. Start imperfectly if you must, but start, because once construction begins, something changes inside you. You stop begging life to become clear, and you begin creating clarity. You stop calling chaos normal, and you begin confronting it. You stop treating blessing like a mystery, and start treating it like a responsibility. And the more responsible you become, the more trustworthy you become. The more trustworthy you become, the more can safely be placed in your care. That is not harsh. That is hopeful. It means your future is not locked away behind luck. It can be shaped by wisdom, step by step, choice by choice, structure by structure. So remember this, and let it stay with you. Your soul carries the blueprint. Your life is the build. The design is there. The materials are here. The moment is now. Do not just admire the vision, construct it. Do not just ask for overflow. Create the vessel. Do not just hope for change. Build for it. God does not bless potential. He blesses structure. Heaven never funds confusion. It multiplies what you build. And now the question is simple. What will you start building today?